Hey vinyl community, it's Michael. Welcome back to Near Wild Heaven. Today's video is going to be 15 albums from my collection, number 3. Before I get started, I'd like to thank all the people who's subscribed to me within the last month. So thanks for that. And if you're a new viewer, subscribe and hit the like button if you want. So, enough of that crap. Let's get going here. First up, had to show this one. Television, Marquee Moon. Great album. One of the best albums to come out of the punk era. Even though it's not really punk. I guess it's considered punk, but I don't see it as punk. But anyway, great album. This is a white label promo I got when I worked at the record store back in the 70s. But great album. Everybody knows this. You know, R.I.P. Tom Verlaine. We lost another one so far. That makes 3 people this year we've lost in the rock and roll world. So, Television, Marquee Moon. Great album. Great band. Up next, Stone Roses. This is their first album. This is so good. This came out in 1989. This is a 2014 reissue. When this came out, they were like, England was like on the verge of the Britpop explosion with Oasis and Blur and all that. But these guys came out first with this album, and this, it's so good. It's just a great album. Everything on it. I Want to Be Adored, Waterfall, Don't Stop, Song for My Sugar Spun Sister. Just great album. Love the Stone Roses. Love this album. It's a classic from the early 90s. Great album by the Stone Roses. Up next, this is the Ramones, Halfway to Sanity. This is, I think, I'm not even sure. It might be like their 6th album or something. It came out in 1987. So, yeah, it's probably like their 6th or 7th album. But anyway, great album from the Ramones as usual. My cover's kind of beat up here, torn there. Got all these creases on it and stuff. But this is a hard album to find, and it's the only one I found with the record itself is in good condition, but the cover is just shot. But there's the inner sleeve, the lyrics, and of course it's on Sire. The album itself is in really good shape. It's just the cover is really messed up. But what are you gonna do? You can't find it anywhere else. And it's the only one I could find that was playable, so there you go. If anybody out there has a spare copy of a cover for this album, let me know. Maybe we can work something out. So that's the Ramones, Halfway to Sanity. Up next, Screaming Trees. This is Uncle Anesthesia. This originally came out in 1991. Great album from Screaming Trees. Mark Lanigan on vocals. Yeah, just great stuff. Great guitar work. Chris Cornell's on this. He sings backing vocals on Alice Said, Uncle Anesthesia, Before You Arise. But so good. One of the great 90s bands that never really took off as much as the other ones did, like Alice in Chains and Nirvana and Pearl Jam, all of them. But great band, kind of overlooked. It's a really good album. If you don't know about Screaming Trees, or you're just curious about this album, check it out. It's really good. Uncle Anesthesia. Up next, this is Fugazi, Repeater. This is their first full-length album. This originally came out in 1990. This is a 2009 reissue. This is great. Fugazi is one of the greatest bands. I mean, they're just so good. And they're so for the people, you know. They always played, wherever they played, they never charged more than $5 admission to their shows. And their albums, the vinyl, they don't sell for more than $15, and the CDs sell for about $9. They might have raised the prices a little bit since then, but I mean, you know, what other band do you know would do that? You know, but Fugazi is a great band, great album. Check it out if you don't already have it. Up next, this one's a little risque cover, but this is Orbit, Libido Speedway. This came out in 1996. In the late 90s, there was like a slew of all these bands that sounded like Nirvana, and this was one of them. But this isn't too bad. I like this album. I like it's really catchy, I guess, but it's a great album. You know, if you don't know about this band, Orbit, they're pretty obscure now, I guess, but they had a few top 10 hits with what's the song, Bicycle Song and Medicine were both hits off of this album. I think this might be the only album that they did, but it's a good album. If you like late 90s, kind of grungy, sounding a little bit like Nirvana, this one might be for you. The Orbit Libido Speedway. Up next, this is John Mayall's Blues Breakers. This is with Peter Green. This came out in 1967. This is the one right after the album they did with Eric Clapton. When Eric left, he was replaced by this guy, Peter Green. And great album, great blues rock, whatever you want to call it. It's just so good. Peter Green is such an excellent guitarist. His work with Fleetwood Mac was just fantastic. And the stuff he does on this album is really good too. So if you're into blues rock, and you don't know about this album, check it out. Hard Road, John Mayall, The Blues Breakers. A really good album. Up next, this is Amon Düül II, Phallus D. This is their first album. This is a reissue. I'm not even sure when this came out. It doesn't say on here, but I think it's probably 69 or 70. I'm not sure, but great album. Krautrock, really spacey, lots of electronics, just great stuff. Amon Düül went on to do a lot of really good space rock type music, but this was the first one. If you don't know about Amon Düül II, there's another band, I guess the precursor to this band was a band called Amon Düül. So I guess there was lineup changes or whatever, and then they just changed the name to Amon Düül II. But this is their first album. Great album. Check it out if you like krautrock. Up next, this is Slowdive, Just for a Day. This is Shoegaze. This is really good. It's kind of mellow, so if you're looking for something that's not going to be too jarring or upsetting, this one's pretty good. It's nice, mellow shoegaze. Really, lots of shimmering guitars, I guess. The smooth vocals. Just really good stuff. Really good. Slowdive, Just for the Day. Up next, This Mortal Coil. This is a band from the 80s, I believe, sometime in the 80s this came out. What it is the bands that were on the label 4AD. In this particular record has members of Cocteau Twins, The Dead Can Dance, Howard Devoto's on here, lots of other people from that era, from this label. But anyway, it's really good. What is it? Song to the Siren, which is a Tim Buckley song. It's covered here by Robin Guthrie and Elizabeth Fraser from Cocteau Twins. It's such a beautiful song. It's so, so good. But the rest of the album is really good too. They do covers of Holocaust, which is Alex Chilton composition. Just great stuff. Really, really good. This Mortal Coil on 4AD. Up next, this is Sparks, a Woofer in Tweeter's Clothing. This is their second album from 1972 or 73, I think. I think it was 73. But, yeah, this is a German pressing I found at a record show years ago. But, yeah, it's really good. You all know Sparks. Their later albums are more popular than their early stuff. Their first two albums are kind of overlooked, but they're really good, kind of power poppy a little bit. Just great stuff, you know, with Russell Mayall's falsetto vocals. Just good stuff. I particularly like The Girl from Germany and Moon Over Kentucky is really good on this. But if you like Sparks and you haven't heard this album, A Woofer in Tweeter's Clothing, their second album. So if you like Sparks, you might want to check this one out. Really good stuff. Up next, this is Loop. Heaven's End is the name of the album. This is a band from England, I believe. This came out sometime in the 80s. I'm not really sure. Excuse me, but Loop is like sort of shoegazy, but not too much into that realm. More like on the lines of Jesus and Mary Chain. There's lots of reverb. Oh, Spaceman 3. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah. A lot like Spaceman 3, like lots of reverb and feedback on the guitars. Just really good stuff. Really good 90s semi-shoegaze sort of stuff, but really good to listen to. Heaven's End by Loop. Just a couple more here, a few more. Up next, this is The Cure, Pornography. I think this was their fourth album, maybe their third, but really dark. One of the darkest albums by The Cure. I'd say this is darker than Disintegration, but this was from their first era, and after this they went into a more poppier direction with like Let's Go to Bed and what's the song about the cats? Love Cats, yeah. You know, they went into a more popular direction after this album, but this one is really, really dark and brooding. If you like that type of music and you like The Cure, it's a good album to check out. The Cure, Pornography. Up next, this is the Lyres, On Fire. This originally came out in 1984. I think this is their second album, but great garage rock from this Boston band. Everybody knows the Lyres. Great stuff. Help You Ann is really good. Tired of Waiting, they do the cover of the Kink song. Not like the other one. Soapy. Really good stuff. Really good garage rock from the 80s by the Lyres, On Fire. And the last one here is the classic. This is Wishbone Ash, Argus. This is a great album. Lots of good guitar on this. I don't know a whole lot about this band. I know they've been around for a while. This originally came out in 1972. I believe it's like their second album. Their earlier stuff is way more better than their later stuff, that's for sure. I mean, the guitars on this is just fantastic. If you like, it's not like hard rock, it's more softer, but it's still rock. And the guitar on here, it's got slight psychedelic overtones to it, but great album, really good band, Wishbone Ash, Argus. So that's it for this week. I want to thank everybody for subscribing again, and I guess I'll see you soon. So take care, VC. See you later.